Father is the best film I've seen in the past 5 years, and may be the best film that I've seen in the past 10 years.
Well, that was a movie.
Hi, and welcome back to Simon's Rants. I'm Simon, and today I'm giving my first thoughts on The Father, which, in case you don't know, was written and directed by Florian Zeller, who actually initially wrote this as a stage play and then adapted it himself to be made into a movie starring Anthony Hopkins. Now, I think this movie's best going into it not knowing anything about it. I did know pretty much everything about it going into it, but I would like to suggest not knowing anything at all. So I am going to give a spoiler-free section. I'll be especially critical of what counts as a spoiler or not. I'm not even going to give a synopsis of the plot to begin, because I think even things that most people wouldn't consider as spoilers, I would just prefer to give you the option to go into this movie completely blind, because I think that would be the best way to experience this film. I think oftentimes actors, when they get into their twilight of their career, and maybe even like a middle-aged part of their career, they start phoning it in. They've made it, they've done the characters that make them famous, they're world-class actors, and now they're just continuing on in the craft because they enjoy it, to make more money, or whatever. It's just all they know what to do. Anthony Hopkins is one of the best actors of all time, and he's done amazing performances throughout his career. I mean, Silence of the Lambs, for one. Everybody knows that movie. He was amazing in that, and I consider him to have delivered several of the best performances of all time. This was one of, if not the best performances of his career, which is alarming, because that is so rare that an actor his age delivers such a beautiful performance. It's called a swan song when it's the last performance of your career and then you make it your best. And I'm not trying to say that this is his last performance. I hope it's not. But this could be quite possibly considered his swan song. And then as for this writer-director, Florian Zeller, I have never heard of him before this film. He has very little to his name. He has 2 directing credits, and the only other thing is one episode in 2010 of a TV show called Emprientes. I probably completely butchered that, but my point is, who is this guy? He's a nobody, essentially. And recently I've been debating in my own mind, is it possible to create a film that feels like a classic? Is it possible to reach that potential anymore? Because we've had a lot of really good movies that have come out in recent years, and I found myself not being able to give any of them over an 8.5, no matter how good they were. Like last year, I absolutely adored I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I gave it an 8.5. Part of me thinks I should give it more, but I just didn't feel like it deserved it, and I really couldn't. And I stand by that rating. Part of me thinks that I should give this an 8.5. But another part of me also wants to really give it a 10. Like, really, I think that it's basically perfect. So, right now, I'm going to give you that range, because I can't decide what to give it. But I'm probably saying a 9, in other words, because it's probably not perfect, but I feel like it is the best movie I've seen in the past decade. And there have been some good movies in the past decade. 2014 was a great year. 2013 had some good movies. Last year had, that one good movie. And the only reason I don't want to say that this movie is perfect is because there was things that they could have done that they didn't do. Things that I thought they were going to do and they didn't do. But to me, that's not really a definitive flaw. Now, it is something that I can hold against it, but not a lot. I put that more in like a nitpick category. And so, I don't know that I can say that this movie's perfect, but it got so damn close. And this movie is just something I wish I had written, and parts of it felt like I did, which I've never said that about a movie before. I've said that about songs. I've heard songs and thought, that sounds like something I wrote. That sounds like something I felt and then said. I've never seen a movie and thought to myself, it feels like I wrote this. And not the entirety of the movie. I definitely would have done some things differently. But parts of it, yeah, it felt like I wrote it. So, wow. This movie is hard to watch, but definitely worth it. And the acting, like I mentioned with Anthony Hopkins, is amazing, but all of the acting was great. It also has Rufus Sewell in it. I haven't seen him in years, and he was phenomenal in this. Everybody was. And then the score was so subtle but perfect. There was just certain cues that just worked so well. The writing, the directing was all just perfect. Like everything just came together to work so well together. I want to take my time and think about this because I feel like I'd be doing a disservice if I left out anything, because this movie, it didn't even feel like a movie. I forgot that I was watching a movie several times while watching it, which is hard for me to do. There's very few movies in my life that I can begin to even describe that way. This is why I'm not exaggerating. I'm not overemphasizing how good this movie is at all. And I do think part of it is it has a very personal side to me. It does. So maybe this movie will speak more to me than to the average person. Like I said, I'm probably going to give it a 9. It's got a 7.9 right now, which is still great. That's really good. But I think maybe it will speak to me and people who can relate to it a bit more than just the average person. But I don't care who you are, you're going to think this movie is really good, at least. I skimmed one review that said it wasn't as good as the play. I can't speak to that. I've never seen the play. But if this movie isn't as good as the play is, that play has to be like the best play to ever exist. So, I know that's brief, that's to the point. But like I said, I don't want any spoilers in the spoiler-free section, so I am going to give you a warning now as I'm going into the spoiler section. So, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you liked it. If you haven't seen this movie yet, I definitely cannot recommend it enough. Just be prepared. It isn't an easy experience movie. It is going to have a lot of emotions being brought up, and I think it's worth it, though. So, spoilers. In case you don't know the plot of the film, it centers around Anthony Hopkins' character, who plays Anthony. Actually, because the script was written for him with him in mind specifically. So what a dream come true for the writer-director. He has dementia. The film is told out of order. It's told with different actors portraying the same characters. It's told just in a confused jumble with subtle changes here and there that become a pattern and then breaks the pattern, and it's just so wonderful. It really was. It really was, because I had, like I said, a couple of nitpicks where I was like, I wish that they had even more actors come in and play the characters. Like, they had 2 actresses play the daughter, and I wish that they had like 5, just a different actress every time he sees her type thing, and they didn't do that. But I think that could have led to a gimmicky feel, and they didn't want to do that, and I think that they emphasized different areas that were much more powerful and much more impactful now that I stop and think about it. And it was very powerful and really heartbreaking to see this man go through these things so accurately portrayed. Like I said, I forgot this was a movie at times. I've seen this happen firsthand, and it's in my family, and I expect to see it again. I expect to experience it, and the way that Anthony Hopkins so perfectly expressed the confusion, the doubt, the mood swings, the anger, the regret, the sadness, everything, every stage possible of this horrible condition. He did beautifully. And there's several moments that hit hard. Throughout the film, he doesn't know that one of his two daughters is dead. She died in a car accident or some sort of accident. He doesn't know that because he's forgotten that point. He consistently forgets who his daughter is and who her husband is. He consistently doesn't know where he is. I think the part that was hardest to really take in is at the end of the film, he finally gets put into a nursing home. And because of that, he has no legs to stand on when it comes to memory, because he was taking different things from being in the apartment, taking being around his daughter to help him remember things, and you take that away, and all of a sudden he loses everything. And he, at several points, he asks throughout the film, whoever he's talking to, "Who are you? Who was that? Why are you here? What's going on?" But then when he's there in the nursing home at the end, he asks, "Who am I?" And the nurse tells him, "You're Anthony." And he goes, "Oh, that's a good name. I bet my mother gave it to me. Where's my mother?" And you just see that everything's been stripped away. All the pride he had is stripped away to being a child, or as he describes it, a tree that's lost all of its leaves. And like I said, you forget that it's a movie because it was so real and it's so accurately shown. And I'm sorry that I'm crying. Like I said, it's something very personal to me. And I can't imagine a movie coming out this year. I can't imagine a movie coming out the next 10 years that's going to impact me like this. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough. But it's an emotional roller coaster, and I think everybody involved in it, everybody was brilliant. I can't applaud this film enough. If Anthony Hopkins doesn't get Best Actor for this, something's wrong. If it doesn't win the Oscar for Best Film, I think that's a crime as well. This was a generational movie. I don't know what the formula is to make a perfect film, or to make a film that is instantly a classic. But I can tell when I see one. And like I said, it's been a while since I've seen one in theaters. It's been a while since I've seen a movie come out and been like, that is a classic. This was. The darndest thing is I forgot to put it on my most anticipated movies list. And then the second I made that video, I went, shit. That was going to be number one, and I forgot about it. Because I remember hearing about it because of it being in the film festivals. I saw it on IMDb, and I read the synopsis, and I went, this film is going to wreck me. This film is going to be the best movie I've ever seen. And it wasn't, but it was close. It was close. So, yeah. Looked like a real idiot. The best movie of 2021 wasn't even on my most anticipated movies list. Oh well. I really did enjoy it. I need to go to bed now. I stayed up all night to see this movie. What did you guys think, though? Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. And, of course, don't forget to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Only 40% of my views come from my subscribers, so whoever you are, subscribe, please. Thanks, guys. Bye.